tell us a little bit about yourself first? You live in Balfour right now?
I live in Balfour, came to Nelson in 1995 and have been in consulting engineering. I have my own company in Nelson and it's called Pennco Engineering. And that was a result of being brought here through work.
And where are you from?
Vancouver originally.
Okay.
But I often ask people how long it takes to become localized and be
Oh, yeah?
considered to be local. And people ask, how long have you been here? And I said, well, 15 years. And does that mean I'm, considered local? And some of them say no.
Oh.
But I consider myself to be local.
Right, and so I always think that nobody needs to ask anybody if they're local or not, so long as you live here and you feel this is yours and you commit to it and you support it.
And
it's
this
yours.
is my home, and
that's right.
That's just the way it is. Great.
So tell us a little bit. So you own a engineering consulting firm.
Yes.
And what types of work do you do?
We do transportation, we do municipal engineering, land development, and we will also do some sort of specialized things. And those specialized things are runaway lanes and dragnet systems and some bridges and some retaining walls and things like that.
So the runaway lanes, that's the stuff that you see on the highways when you're coming down hills and the little steep.
Yes. We have kind of a niche market with dragnets.
What are they?
Those are the same structures that are on aircraft carrier decks that actually stop the jets when they drop down onto the deck. The cables are strung across the deck and the big anchor is dropped out of the jet and it snags these things.
Right.
That technology has been adapted for transportation, and we've done quite a number of those around. We have a client in New York City, and we just did a project in Hartford, Connecticut not even a year ago.
Oh, yeah?
So it's our own little niche market that we've created.
That's great. And so here we are in Kaslo, in the bay.
Yes.
So we have heard there's going to be some development happening here.
There is.
Just above the Jazz Fest site.
That's correct.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about it?
Well, it started very innocently, actually. It was in August of 2007. I was asked to come onto this site and look at it for the purposes of doing some engineering for the previous owner. And when I first walked onto the site, in fact, you can't see it at this moment, but the site was just to my left up here.
So we're talking about where the old house is.
Where the old station house.
Yes.
So I walked up there and looked around, and I was absolutely amazed. The feel of it was just ideal. The view was tremendous. The sun was excellent. It was just one of those glorious days that everything seemed to, come together, and it was like, wow, this is impressive. And the previous owner wanted to rezone the property and have it developed into single-family lots. And I liked the topography because everything had a view, and we could, design things that were quite unique, elevated structures and things like that. And it just really looked like a winter project to me. So that's how it started. That was in August of last year. Partway through that project, we were asked just to put it on hold temporarily. And then we were asked to work on another piece of property for that owner, and which we have done, and we've converted that into an 11-lot subdivision that they are presently constructing right now.
So we're talking about like beachcombers, right? Just
the beachcombers, yeah. They have a 4-acre parcel just on the point, off to my right, just around the corner over there, and that's now in construction, and that will be 11 single-family home lots. So while that was going on, we also had another sort of good relationship that happened, and they asked us to assist with the construction or the completion of the construction of their 30-unit condo building. So my other company had a couple of crews come and help out, and we worked there for about 4 or 5 months and finished off their condo building. And as a result of that, they were able to complete all of their sales and sell all their units. And so that's how the relationship started with the previous owner. And then in January of this year, 2008, they asked if we were interested in purchasing a piece of this property that we're actually standing on right now. In fact, that piece is that rock knob right over there.
Uh-huh.
And they asked if, you know, we were interested in buying that one small piece. And so it just kept growing from there. And, you know, I said, well, I really like it. It's going to be quite challenging to service it by itself. And as a result, then the property just kept growing, essentially, until ultimately, just 3 weeks ago, maybe 3.5 weeks ago, the deal has been complete. Now have taken possession of this property, and it's a full 12 acres.
And the 12 acres includes the rock point
Yes.
all the way down. Does it go all the way down to the Catholic Church?
Almost, yes. It's a great big horseshoe shape, and it essentially rings this whole bay all the way around,
Uh-huh.
and it's a very sort of unique shape. It has about 5 or 6 different legal titles to it, which we will be amalgamating into one. There's a number of easements on it, and there's a number of services on it, and basically everything that one needs to get started is pretty close by.
Uh-huh. And so tell us a little bit about what you plan on doing here.
Our initial sort of thoughts for this site seemed to make sense because it's already zoned waterfront commercial, and it made sense that, you know, we want to stay within the existing zoning, and we want to build units that are very architecturally appealing and basically stay within the theme of the town, or at least what I think the theme of the town is, sort of Victorian heritage style. And that's what we are proposing here. So we are proposing 20 triplex units, a total of 60 living units, and it will be a building strata, so full strata development, phased strata, and looking at units anywhere from 1,350 to 1,500 finished square feet, plus full unfinished basements, plus full either 2 or single car attached garages.